Hello, people. What is going on? Welcome back to Each One His Own TV. After Hours edition with Mitch. Trying to get Mitch on this channel is a nightmare, but he's here now. So, right, you know what I'm saying? We've got a lot to talk about. Mitch, how you doing, man?
Excellent, thank you, mate. How
All
you
right.
doing?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Another day in paradise. You know what I mean? Ain't been too hot today. It was, last night, but we won't talk about that. Right, let's get into this, Mitch. You've been away for a while. You've come back. We've got
Nothing's changed. Yeah, nothing's changed.
Take it away.
Happened. Yeah, I tell you what, it's it's nice to just not have to think about West Ham because there's been nothing going on. I think Lucas is telling me as well. We're quite in a similar boat where because there's nothing going on West Ham, I'm just cracking on with my own life, just enjoy myself, doing what I got to do, work and enjoy myself, and not having to worry about West Ham because there's been no transfer news. It's been nothing to get annoyed about. So like because there's been no, even though I'm pissed off that we've not made a single signing yet, and we've not made apparently even any bids yet. We've not made any bad signings yet, so I'm feeling alright until that point. But look, it's not going well at the minute.
No, it ain't, mate. I'm not being funny. Like, let's talk about Michail Kudus, mate. If he ends up with Spurs, mate, I'm gonna be straight. I'm fading away a little bit with it.
It's a really tough one because if they're the only club that is going to offer a good cash deal, I really don't want to. I don't want him to go there because I know he'll probably smash it and we'll never forget it, and we'll always remember it, and we'll never be able to forgive the board for it. So it's a really tough one. Ultimately, it's on the board. There are a bunch of absolute cunts that we are even in this position where we're talking about this, James. It's an absolute disgrace. And the fact that we're even going to entertain offers for Kudus as well, who is definitely our best prospect, and we're selling him to Spurs, which looks like could be very likely happening. And we've moved to this fucking shithole stadium and been promised world-class facilities, world-class team, and we're selling our best prospects to our main rival. It's not what we signed up for. And but at the same time, with the predicament that I'm hearing that we're in, unfortunately, I think just to get the transfer window going and for the future of our club, if we cannot get in this window a bid better than 60 million, I would just take 60. I know it's well under what we should be getting for Kudus.
Do we have to cut off our nose to spite our face?
Unfortunately, yeah, I think so.
And that's the thing.
That's a good way of saying it. Yeah. And look, it's like, yeah, I think that saying what you said there is the best way of putting it. But the fact that we are in this position makes me sick. It's fucking disgusting.
It is,
man. And I still don't get why we've not put a loan offer in for some players. We're looking at players to loan, and there's players available for loan. There's free agents available as well, which we were linked with and looking at before the transfer window. But now we want to wait till we sell players. How does that make any sense? Why can't we put a fucking loan offer in? I don't know. Look, Petrovic is going to Sunderland now. We could have maybe got him on loan. We could have tried it with a loan offer. Apparently we've not put a single fucking loan offer in, from what I've heard, for anyone. And it's fucking July, and we've got pre-season around the corner now. Oh,
they come back next week, mate. They come back next week, next Monday.
And we've got a full squad, and we was expecting half of them to be out by now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I completely agree with you, right? I really do. I feel your frustration. I'm not going to go into one on this video because you know how I feel about it. Yeah. The issue is that we're going to have to deal with this somehow, in some way. I do believe, and something X said the other day, I'm making right. We've got to sell before we buy. Simple as that. But we're going to have to sell. Yeah, and that they are trying to push Mo out the door because maybe if they go and buy someone, it affects PSR or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a financial expert, but
Exodus just came out today and said that we're putting in bids for players now. So how the fuck does that make sense? How are we putting in bids if we've got no money?
but what do you define as a bid? Because are
Well,
we putting in bids that we know are going to get rejected?
well, possibly, but if you put in the bid and it does by any chance get accepted on the off chance, what money are you going to use to? Obviously, they must have a little bit of money. I really don't know because obviously the financial situation anyway was supposedly okay, and apparently we don't have to sell because the PSR things are bollocks anyway, and we actually do have a bit of money in the kitty. Where the fuck is that? Where the fuck is that gone?
I agree with you, mate. I
And
really do.
and obviously we've let go loads of players off the wage bill, so that the wage bill should also um, bump up our transfer
But don't worry though.
spending a bit.
We've got a psychologist who's come in. We've got a goalkeeping coach who's come
No,
in.
I don't mind the psychologist because the mentality of some of them fuckers in the changing room doesn't need changing. To be fair,
I don't think it's the players though, mate. I think it's the ownership. Like I think the ownership look at this at the minute and think, as long as we don't go down, we're good. Simple as that. Like, and for me, I look at that and I think that's where the mentality is wrong straight away. Like, with a Mo thing going to Spurs, like us going to Spurs is sickening. And if don't forget, we played them in the first. I'm sure we played them at home in August. Yeah, if he goes and scores against us, that's gonna kill us. Do you know what I'm saying? I know you got a phone call, but it doesn't matter. Right, let's talk about Michail Antonio, mate. He has left. Faults.
It's a sad send off. I'll be honest. Yeah, he deserved a better send off, 100%. With how much dedication he's put towards the club, he's never been my favourite player. I'll admit he's never been one of my favourites. Even now, it doesn't really hurt me to be honest that he's gone. And to be honest, I don't really care too much. It's more that he deserved a better send off and he deserved a good send off. Um, from a business point of view, I completely get it. We're not a Manchester United or a massive club with, you know, extra funds to just go, because he's been here for a long time, we can give him an extra year contract with the wage. If we are in a financial situation that we are in, the problems, I completely get why we're not offering him a new full-time contract because it's, financially it doesn't work out and it is a risk for us. And with how much of a shit situation we're in, I completely get it. So I think it's just one of them sad situations where it is what it is.
I don't think him going bothers me. It's the way he's going.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the exact same. Yeah,
that bothers me. Like for me, I can accept the Michail Antonio going as long as you give him the sort of decency of saying goodbye. You know what I mean? Not so much for me, right? But a lot of the younger fans, a lot of people your age and a bit younger than you, have idolised Antonio. Like some of these people have grown up.
I've idolised him.
No, but I'm not saying you as in you personally, but people that are 16, 15 years of age, that's all they've ever known at West Ham is Michail Antonio. Like that's who they've grown up with. That's who they've got had on the back of the shirt. It is what it is. But I just feel the way that this ball is carried on, like it's unraveling pretty quick. Do you know what I'm saying? With the Antonio thing, before we move on, I just feel that if he signs, they get out of jail. If he goes, they better have a plan. It's as simple as that. Like I think they want him to sign.
We're not sending
really.
Fulkrug. Apparently, Fulkrug ain't going to go because we're not going to get anywhere near the money. So apparently, we're just going to keep him now. I don't want him to stay for that reason. We can't have two fucking old strikers in the squad, and then we don't have the funds to pay for a big money striker. Fulkrug ain't going to be happy sitting on the bench. Antonio probably ain't either. And then you want to sign another striker as well. It don't work. It don't work. I think having Fulkrug as backup or a rotation striker, possibly starting, and then Bowen as like another option that could move in there, and then you sign another striker is the best option in my opinion. I don't think you need Antonio, to be honest.
What do you think about the youth players coming in?
I mean, we'll see. I'm open to new ideas. I've always not been a fan of the youth system. I think our fans, especially, have put so much faith in the youth players, and I did when I was young. A few years back. I was the same. I was very naive.
Yeah,
I remember the Europa League game against was it Zagreb about 3 years ago, and we literally started like 9 young players, youth players, and everyone was saying, "Oh, these all got to be given a chance now." And I just thought these players ain't good enough, and I'll be honest, I don't really to be Premier League. Premier League is a massive jump nowadays. I mean, you've seen it with the Championship clubs coming up there. They really struggle to stay in the league now. I think the jump from Championship to Premier League, or even League One to Premier League, is so big. I really can't see any of them doing well. I think possibly Potts might become decent. I think that's it. And look, people saying being harsh. I just can't see it. I look at them. I don't see the attributes with them to be a good Premier League quality player. If I'm being honest.
I know what you're saying.
Same with Skulls. I'll be honest. Like I'll be honest. It might sound like I'm being a horrible, harsh cunt, but I don't see any future for him as at West Ham. To be honest, as a starting left back.
I think as a covering left back or left wing back, I think Skulls can do a job.
Possibly, but as a left wing back, he's awful going forward. He hasn't got any pace. He hasn't got any great link up ability. He hasn't got that drive to go forward. I don't know.
I don't know. I think you have to give him time to learn. Yeah. So
give him time to learn, but key attributes. He's not got that pace. He hasn't got that natural.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You know when you just look at a player and you can just see it with him.
He's the sort of person you bring on in the last 10 minutes of a game to see it out. If you defend him.
100%. Look, as a backup, he's all right. But I personally see a lot of similarities with Ben Johnson with him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see. I
The
just
star
don't see
quality.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Right, let's go through them quickly. Marshall. I think he gets sold.
Yeah, probably for $1 million, maybe.
Yeah, I think he goes to club. I think he goes to a League One side, a high-end League One side, like a Cardiff or someone like that, and they will get promoted, and he'll follow them into the Championship.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
I don't see him going to a Championship side unless it's a team that's at the bottom who's looking to try and stay in the league. Yeah, so that's on Marshall. He's just he's a Northern Ireland international, but he's just nowhere near West Ham at the minute, right? Orford, what are you saying? If this kid's good enough, he should be able to get in this midfield now.
From what I've seen of him, I don't know. I think very average. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
From what I've seen of him, I think he's very average.
I think that he has to either do one or two things. He either has to break in, or he has to go out on loan. It's as simple as that. He can't sit in the under-23s this year. He can't, right? Because it's just a waste of time. He has to go down the Freddie Potts route, right? Yeah. So it's either a loan or he's gonna have to try and break in somehow.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Right. So that's him. What'd you do with Earthy?
Earthy. How old's Earthy now? Is he 20 this year, isn't he?
20, yeah.
I'll be honest. I think at that age you need to start looking to get into the side. If you're good enough, if you're Premier League quality, I think when you hit like 20, that is the age you want to start looking to break into the Premier League side. Because if you ain't got it at 20, I think it's still young. I just think if you ain't got it at 20 and you're playing in Premier League, then I just don't think you're good enough.
Yeah, I know what you're
saying. I think maybe give him pre-season. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's got good enough ball striking ability. Like he's attacking midfielder, he's not a goal scorer. He isn't getting. He links up play all right from what it seems, but you need more in the Premier League. I'll be honest, and I don't see it.
I understand what you're saying. I think with Earthy that I've got to see how good he is in pre-season.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think he's got more of a chance than the others. Maybe not Potts, but I think.
Yeah, I think Potts. If Potts don't get in now, you got to sell him.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I think, and I know that's being a bit harsh, and people will probably come at me in the comments, but like we've got no time now. This guy is what 23 years of age now. I think he is right. He's going down the Connor Coventry sort of route where he's going to have to break in. This, like if you can't get in West Ham's midfield this summer, for how bad it is, then there's no point. You might as well just flog him. Do you know what I'm saying? I think Casey needs to go out on loan, the centre half. Just no good on the bench. Just no good. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's that on the youth. What do you make of the situation with the ownership of this club, though, mate? At the minute,
I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it. I think at the bare minimum, we always look to get the loan signings. It seems towards the end of the window when we've used our budget up, but there's some really good, decent players there right now that we can really do with now. Maybe with an option to buy or an obligation to buy at the end of the season, that we could do with a couple of them in for pre-season, just so you got a few new additions. Because if we just get everyone in next month, we're fucked. We're fucked, mate, and it fucking infuriates me.
I agree. Like, listen, I've been saying it. I was saying it for a long time, and I said that we need to sort this out. People come at me and say, "Oh, you're negative," and like people think we're already relegated. Listen, when you've seen the script one too many times, you fucking know how it goes. Like, you know what I mean, if you've seen the film, like, if you've seen the same film over and over again, you know how it's going to end. The issue is with me when it comes to the ownership is that they are. I don't know whether they're setting Potter up to fail. I think that's another thing that is just sort of grinding at me a little bit, because like I would love to know what Potter was told before he signed on that dotted line.
What in terms of
Well,
what he's going to get?
Yeah, in terms of what he's going to
What he's
get,
promised and all that.
Yeah, like the finances and all that. Like, you know, because of the way I look at it at the minute, Mitch. Right, we're trying to flog Mo to our rivals.
Yeah, he must be fuming, considering the news come out before the end of the season that literally almost every player has a price, besides from Bowen and Wan-Bissaka and I think someone else, maybe Kilman, I can't remember who it was. Or Somerville, sorry, them three. Then he clearly doesn't rate fucking any of them. The fact he's got a psychologist in also shows that the mentality of the players ain't good enough. So it's an absolute shambles. He must be fuming, I think.
Yeah. And I think with Potter, he's in a bit of a fucking tricky situation, because if he walks, it makes him look bad. If he walks away, it makes him look bad, and if he sticks it out, is his sort of profile going to go down the pan? So he's in a bit of a tricky situation. What players would you get rid of, Mitch? Because obviously,
oh god,
I'm seeing Aguerd. Getting linked with coming back and planning that back three.
Yeah, now, I saw the news today of that, and not happy with that at all. Not happy with that at all. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I really think he's. I don't think he's built for the Premier League. He's not physical enough. His
can't header a ball.
Oh, what's this update here? An official bid. Oh, nothing. Never mind. All right. Sorry, go on.
Basically, like.
Oh, who would I get in? Who would I get in? Oh, get rid of. Sorry, you said.
Yeah.
Well, if I could do my own business and I would get players out and get players in, I would get out Todibo, I would get out Aguerd, Emerson, I would get out Ariola, I would get out Alvarez, I would get out Guido Rodriguez. I don't know, he's still fucking here.
Andy Irving.
Makes me sick. Andy Irving. Although I wouldn't actually mind if Andy Irving stayed, because purely for backup reasons and the fact that we'll get absolutely nothing for him anyway. I'd rather sell Alvarez or Rodriguez, who are on higher wages, and because obviously you still need a little bit of backup. Obviously, I know you've got Ward-Prowse and Soucek there as well, but fuck, mate, our midfield. I could keep going about the players. I'd probably get rid of, honestly, almost everyone besides from Bowen, Somerville and Wan-Bissaka. I'd probably keep Kilman. I would keep Kilman, to be fair.
I think Emerson, for me, I've always said that he's on the cards of going. Like Paqueta, I think it gets banned. Yeah, and I think
Do you?
like West Ham.
You think it's a
Yeah,
ban?
I really
I don't
do,
think he
mate.
will.
I think that they're going to try and find something on him. It's going to be it will be the most minimal thing, but it will save them from being sued.
Yeah.
Because if he does get away with it and he's not guilty on all charges, the FA are getting sued the shit out of, mate, by West Ham,
Mm.
by him, for loss of
Yeah,
earnings,
true.
loss of a transfer.
Yeah.
So I'm not naive. I do believe he gets banned. I'll be fucking stunned if he gets away with it. I'll be literally stunned. I'll be like, whoa, I
Really?
didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good point. I didn't really think of it that way. Yeah,
Do
I
you know what I'm
think
saying? So,
you put it like that,
um,
possibly. Yeah.
right, let's go who you would want in then.
I mean, there's one man, and Malik Joof. Bring him in. Bring this fucking boy in. I really like the look of him. Great profile for the Premier League. He's got a bit of everything: pace,
Yeah.
strength, technically good, can whip a good ball in. Yeah, he's only 20 years of age. Perfect. I think he's got good height as well for the Premier League. I think perfect. Would be a
Right.
great signing, and would be cheap. We could get him maybe 16 million as well. Perfect.
Well, we're bidding 20, been rejected. So,
Oh, we haven't bidded
it,
20. We bidded 10.
well, even better. Right, I'm going to go through some names. I'm going to like give us a shout of like what you think on these
Yeah,
names.
go on.
Right. Charlie Cresswell.
Yes.
I think he's a good player, mate. And I think he's. I watched him twice for the under-23s. I thought, yeah, he looks
Yeah.
right. He's the sort of player that if you're going to bring a defender in, he's your man. You put in the middle of the back three, and you defend
Yeah.
everything in the air. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah,
hmm
I agree with you on that. Dominic Calvin-Lewin.
I don't have to say anything. Fuck off.
Yeah, I know, mate. Is there any like midfielders? Like, what about McAtee and like Harvey Elliott and people like that?
Yeah, yeah. Both of
Right.
them, yeah. I'd love both of
I,
them.
I think Harvey Elliott is better. I think he's a better all-round player. I
Yeah,
think he brings more
yeah, I
than
agree.
McAtee.
I mean,
Um,
technically, he's better on the ball. His close control's better. And
yeah, but the problem is we ain't really been linked with many people. Like we've been linked with players, but they've either been sold on to someone else or they're on the verge of going somewhere else. Do you know what I'm saying? So
well, we're linked with players. I mean, I think the main one that what was it X said on the channel the other day was Stroikens, the Belgian midfielder.
yeah,
Um,
he's a good player, that kid. But the only
he's got a
problem
little bit of
with
an attitude, I've heard. He's got a bit of an attitude problem.
true, but one thing I will say is that do we have to go and get the next gen of players? Like it's a dangerous game we're playing here, mate. Like getting in a load of youngsters and hoping that they're all going to kick into gear at the same time.
Well, if this is what Potter's style is, and this
Yeah,
is his bread and butter, though, because this is what he done at Brighton. Then I've got faith in him. If this is the route he wants to take, then I don't mind it.
yeah, I can understand what you're saying on that. I really
If
do.
if Paqueta does not, if he passes the judge, and he wanted to go, and we could get 40 million for him, then I would do everything in my power to then go straight for Harvey Elliott. That would be my ideal scenario.
Mm.
I think people saying he's out of our range in terms of quality. I disagree really. I think yes, obviously looking at us face value, we've been bottom half, or was bottom half last season, but we're still an attractive prospect. I still think because
I don't
you
think
get what
we're
I'm
as.
saying. We
I,
still want to be in the top half and challenge in Europe, and I think that's what Harvey Elliott's level is.
the only problem with us at the minute, and this is a major problem, is that we're lowballing ourselves a little bit on players. That what
Mm,
teams want X and we're offering Y. And that's always going to be a problem, mate. Like I know
yeah,
people keep saying you got to do negotiations, but it's doing negotiations and there's putting a bid in that you know is going to get rejected. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
mm.
like, I'm a bit concerned by
Well, I
that.
think that's purely because we ain't made any sales yet.
Mm.
But what happens, James? Because honestly, at the minute, it looks like nothing's moving. Look, there's no sale of any of our players that's moving. Kudus is the only one, but that sale, like, it's going to still continue on for at least a week. And then by the time we sell him, then we've got into negotiations with another player. That's going to take another week, maybe two, and then you want to do
Yeah.
multiple deals at once. You're talking 3 weeks really of like from now of signing a player if you're looking to sell Kudus.
And you know what's going to
And
happen?
and that's fucking pre-season. We haven't made a single signing yet.
And you know what's going to happen there, don't you? What's going to happen is all these signings are going to be made while we're in America, and then like by the time they get back, these players are going to have one game probably against Lille at home in the pre-season friendly, and then they've got to go up against Sunderland away, where we're going to have to go there and try and get a result there, the first game of the season.
We sell Kudus, and we ain't got a fucking left winger yet. We ain't got a left winger. Somerville's out till September.
What would you do with Guilherme?
Give him a chance. I think he's got the most potential of all the youngsters, in my opinion. Obviously, we should though for the price we paid for him. But he grew into the season. I thought last season showed signs of good quality. I think he drives the ball really well.
He does carry the ball well. I'll give him that. Yeah.
And maybe in pre-season, instead of playing on the wing, maybe give him a little test in the middle in Paqueta's role.
Yeah, I'm not against that, mate. It's a tricky one with him. Before we come to the end, like I want him to do well, but I don't know whether he's ready for what we need.
His attitude seems really good. He's got a really good professional attitude. He doesn't throw his toys at the pram, and seems like he's taking his time. He doesn't want to leave. By sounds of it. For a youngster, it's not getting much game time. Big money move to the Premier League. Fair play to him, and I just hope he keeps his head down and can improve, because I think there might be something there. I'm not going to say there is, but there could be something there with him.
Before we round this up, final question from me. What are you predicting this season, Mitch?
Anything can happen now. So, I don't know who. To be honest, it really depends on signings. We've still got a month and a half left, or 2 months left, or just under. But we do need to act literally right now if we're going to have a good season, or any chance at a good season. We have to act this week, really, in terms of bids, signing, negotiations, selling players. The cogs have got to start moving. Obviously, other clubs must know that we are desperate to sell. That's why they're lowballing all our players. But what makes me sick is that, for me, our biggest problem last season was our midfield. We had, in my opinion, one of, if not the worst midfields in the Premier League, the whole Premier League. It's
probably the worst midfield that I've ever witnessed as a West Ham fan. And that's what I'm saying. And
it's not changed. And in terms of box midfielders, we're fucking barely linked to any. It's all like left backs and strikers and forwards. I'm hearing goalkeepers and centre backs. And I'm thinking, are we seriously? Look, I know Souček had a good season, but you can't run and dominate midfield over a season with Souček in midfield. You have to have some quality, some good ball playing players that can cover the pitch well, athletic players.
Yeah.
Obviously, Whufc, for me, far too slow to be starting alongside Souček. The midfield's an absolute shambles, mate. It's an absolute shambles.
I do agree with you on the midfield. The only thing I will say is he waiting to see what Potts and Murphy and all these boys are like in Orford in pre-season? Because
must be, but
I think he's holding back.
But our midfield is so fucking shit right now. You can't rely on youth players to come in and be the next N'Golo Kante or Iniesta.
True.
You need some proven quality as well in there. If you want them, if you think them players are good enough, good, bring them in. Tell the other players and bring some good top European quality in there next to them to help them improve the game even more. You don't just chuck them in and tell them to run the fucking midfield next season. They're not going to be Declan Rice.
Yeah, I completely agree. Right, Mitch, any questions for me, mate? Anything you want to ask? Anything else on your mind? Anything at all?
Questions for you. I think I'm saying. How do you think next season's going to go?
I'm worried, mate. Deep down, I just feel like what you're saying today is spot on every mark. Where like the way it's carried on, we should be making the signings now. We come back from pre-season on Monday, and then we're going to Austria for, I think it's like a 5-day fitness program, and then at the end of that, you got grasshoppers in a friendly. I'm concerned.
Makes you sick.
I'm concerned about next season, but if you go and bring in a Harvey Elliott, it changes the game for West Ham because then the fans are upbeat. Then at the minute, every fan out there, unless you're some sort of fake positivity fucking twat, right? Every fan out there is worried, and everyone I speak to, they say the same thing as what I've been saying. Yeah, I'm a bit concerned that we're not doing nothing. Nothing's really moving forward. Why are we not putting no bids in with like securing deals? So it is a cause for concern at the minute. Now I know we've got 2 months to like window shuts. I get that, but West Ham have got to be ready on the August the 16th. They have to be because they've got Sunderland, they've got Chelsea, they've got Forest away, we've got Spurs. Return of Mo. If Mo goes there, it's the return of him. And I think we've got Palace in there somewhere along the line and all. So, it's a tricky start for West Ham. So,
and Sunderland, first game of the season, we've got fucking making brilliant signings. Signings twice as good as us. It's an absolute disgrace. A side that have been in Championship for years and just come up, and they're making big money signings. And apparently we were supposed to have a massive summer transfer window, and they're putting us to shame. They're signing players that I'd take at West Ham in a heartbeat. Disgusting.
What do you think with Potter, mate? Because I feel like Potter, at present, last season, I was on his case.
Yeah.
Now I feel like his hands are a bit tired at the minute, and he's not being helped. All right.
If this squad stays very similar to what it is now, and there's like a few additions before the season starts, then I feel very sorry for him, and I will. Obviously, it depends on how the season goes, but likely, if he's to be sacked, I wouldn't blame him. I would blame the ownership.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't wait now. I think the ownership has been a bit, what's the word? The snake's been in the grass a bit, the last few years because of the success we've had. But, now it's drying up and it's hot as fuck. There's no grass anymore to cover this little cunt weasel prick in the grass. He's a snake, and we need to cut his head off, figuratively speaking.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, all good things come to an end. It hasn't been a good thing really with Sullivan, right? Other than what people say, he saved the club. You can give him that one, but other than that, he saved the club for a purpose, and his purpose was to fill his pockets.
Has he saved the club? I do not believe he saved the club because we are in a shit position now with a shit stadium. We're in my opinion, the worst position I've ever seen the club in. So I don't see that saving. We've gone from.
I think.
I've just cancelled my season ticket for the first time. I never thought I would do that in my life. I never thought I would not go. I would not have a season ticket at West Ham since I got one 10 years ago.
What made you?
These fuckers have put us.
What made you cancel it, Mitch? What made you do it?
Loads of things. The main reason being the stadium is an absolute disgrace.
Yeah.
Atmosphere is a shambles. Obviously, the football's been poor. But to be honest, mate, even if he was in the Europa League or even if he was in the Champions League, it's still not worth it. I think it's been so boring the last few years. Going to watch West Ham, the last 3 or 4 years, the atmosphere has been so shit that it just makes the only games that are enjoyable over there is like Spurs at home and the Europa League games, and that was it. But it's not worth buying a season ticket for.
It's so sad, mate. I've known you a long time, and I know how much you love this club like I do. But for you to walk away, like, I feel for you, mate. I really do. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Because no one should be walking away from West Ham. People should be wanting to be there. And the thing is, the flip side of that is no one wants to be there. And you're not the only one. I speak to so many people on TikTok, on YouTube, and just in life in general. They're all saying the same to me, man. I've had enough. I'm not feeling it no more. And you get these positive wankers out there who go, everything's going to be great. You know what I mean? Like, we probably finished 10th or 8th in the fucking league. Don't do drugs, mate. That's what I'm going to say on that. Anyway, that's enough for me and Mitch. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to E20 Zone TV. Hit notification bell. That's been Mitchell. He's come in and had his say on current affairs at West Ham. Put your comments in. Let us know what you think on this video, and we will see you again in the next one.